A good evening and welcome to Value Chain News Update. I am Mimana Bagudu with the news. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Ahmed Galadima Aminu as the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, for a term of 4 years in the first instance. In a statement by the presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngalale, Galadima's appointment follows the retirement of the outgoing Executive Secretary and CEO, Bello Aliyu Gusau, who proceeds on beginning on September 26, 2023. Until his appointment, the new head of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund served as the general manager of the Education and Training Department at the Petroleum Technology Development Fund. Rising operational costs and poor revenue returns has forced domestic airlines operators in the country to consider increasing the number of seats to take more travelers. The president of the National Association of Nigeria Travel Agencies, Susan Akporeye, while reacting to the news in an interview with journalists, said that the new development is to allow airline owners to increase the capacity of their airlines due to poor revenues. The report.
Akporeye lamented that nothing has changed in the operating costs yet due to the fluctuating exchange rate, except that airlines are beginning to release the lower seats to customers. She explained that airline operators had stopped selling off all the cheap classes and were only selling the expensive ones as a result of trapped funds. Consequently, the increase in exchange rate has forced most airlines to release the cheap seats for more revenue to remain afloat in the business. Adalbio Gwejofor, reporting for Value Chain TV.
Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabo has said that about $262 billion investment is required in the power sector for the country to reach the 30,000 megawatt electricity generation target set by the federal government by 2030. Adelabo, who revealed these while speaking during an oil and gas conference in Lagos, disclosed that renewable energy is expected to contribute 30% to the targeted energy mix. This development follows the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) recent disclosure that the federal government incurred a subsidy obligation of 135.23 billion naira on electricity in the second quarter of 2023. Meanwhile, the Rural Electrification Agency (REA) and the African Mini Grid Developers Association have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote and accelerate mini grid development in Nigeria. The MOU will focus on knowledge sharing, capacity building, and better coordination of the sector, amongst other initiatives. Nigeria is currently leading Africa with 100 mini grids. Still keeping track with the ongoing 2023 African Energy Week in Cape Town, South Africa, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB), Dr. Simbi Kesie Wabote, has challenged African nations seeking economic prosperity to develop local capacities to process, utilize, and export their local resources. The report.
The NCDMB Executive Secretary lamented that most African nations lacked local capacities in key areas of oil and gas industry, such as engineering, procurement, construction and fabrication, installation, commissioning and operation. He noted that the situation has resulted in the loss of job creation opportunities, revenues, skills acquisition, and other aspects of national development. Wabote acknowledged that the negative impact take a significant proportion of the oil and gas industry expenditure, adding that it is important for oil-producing nations to develop local capabilities that would ensure that those financial outlays are retained in the country. He listed strategies for enhancing local content capacity, including establishing factual data on current capacities in country and carrying out gap analysis between current realities and the national vision. He noted that periodic gap analyses are essential to determine gaps that need to be closed and the progress being made in the target areas of interest. The NCDMB Executive Secretary insisted that local content is not copy and paste. Hence, local peculiarities must be factored into programs aimed at enhancing local capabilities. Chad Moses reporting for Value Chain TV.
The Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, has revealed that 70% of food exports from Nigerians suffer rejection in the United Kingdom due to non-compliance with advisory guidelines. Adeyeye said this while speaking at a press briefing in Abuja on Tuesday. She said that the unwillingness of exporters to comply with minimal sanitary measures contributes to products being rejected. She, however, informed that the agency is already securing commitments with the UK Food Standard Agency (FSA) in order to change the narrative, while highlighting the need for mutual recognition of electronic certification by both government agencies, among other mutual benefits. Value Chain TV gathered the opinions of some Nigerians on the issue.
One of the reasons is lack of standardization. You know, when you export products that are below standards over there, you know, the countries who may want to, buy your products have their own standards. So one of the key things you should you would adhere to before you export is to know the standard of that country that you want to sell to. So as long as you don't adhere to their standards, they will reject our products.
This issue of packaging is very important, and the issue of quality, our producers, they're supposed to do qualitative goods and commodities. So if the good doesn't have quality, so there must be rejection. Nobody will accept it, especially those white men in Abuja. They will not accept it.
Following resumption back to school among students of federal universities and unity schools few weeks ago, reports have indicated a hike in school fees across all categories. This development has further challenged Nigerians already battling with poor access to education as a result of fees barrier getting out of reach of the common Nigerian. The 17th October Global Annual International Day for the Eradication of Poverty has drawn Nigerians to reflect on issues of unequal access to basic education. Value Chain TV brings you shared perspectives among some Nigerians on the issue.
Honestly, it's not really funny. It's not. It's hitting hard on every parent. If you have a child in school, you know what it is. But the problem is when you look around, everything has increased. You go to school, you complain, we don't even know where to channel the problem from. They'll tell you they need fare to take these children around and all that. Some that are in boarding schools, feeding, and every other thing has increased too. So definitely they have to increase the school fee.
Whatever policy that is introduced, it come and meet the poverty on the ground. And so nothing will actually be easy because already Nigeria has been described as the headquarters of the poverty. And so it's not going to be easy, it's already known. But the fact is that there is not, how do we do? If you cannot buy education, then are you opting for ignorance?
Thanks for watching Value Chain News Update. I am Imana Bagudu.